check it out. Here is the new motor. It's all pretty much set up to go in. We got the turbo on. Everything up here is on. The throttle pipe is on. The turbo inlet pipe is on. The secondary injection stuff is on. All of the ignition coils and spark plugs are in there. Everything is there. The intake manifold is on. The injectors are in there. The alternator is on. The AC compressor is on. The new belt is on. The motor mount bracket is on. And the clutch is on. The only thing left we have now is to put that transmission onto this part before we actually put the engine in the engine bay. But there is one thing that I want to show you guys, which is really, really sweet about this new motor. This is actually an IS38 that I swapped over from my old motor onto here. So it's still going to be an IS38 GTI here. And I am running a Sachs Performance clutch. I'll be putting this transmission with the wave track differential in there, lining it all up and buttoning everything together. But the reason why I am actually making this video is because as we all know, these motors come with plastic oil pans in them, and I've never had an issue with them cracking or anything, but I have had issues with the seal leaking quite a bit on my car. And so I actually have replaced the seal twice on my original motor for the oil pan, and it still is leaking. So I didn't want to replace it with another factory plastic oil pan. So I decided that I wanted to go to the steel oil pan route, which uses a gasket material, which you have to put the gasket on there and set it and let it set in place instead of an actual gasket, like a physical gasket. Doesn't come with that. So I actually went to ECS Tuning and bought myself a steel oil pan with all the necessary bolts and hardware and sealant and everything. And I was going to install it on this new motor. But when I came underneath the motor here, you can see that, I can focus on that a little bit more. I know it's dark, but that is a steel oil pan. So whoever owned this car before me put a steel oil pan onto this motor already. And you can see the sealant here. Let me get in there. You can see the sealant right there. And there are no leaks. Maybe just a small leak, but there's no leaks around the oil level sensor or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty dang awesome that whoever owned this car, they obviously modified it a little bit because it has the red top ignition coils on there. I did inspect the original spark plugs that were in there, and they looked like the original. So I don't know if the car was actually tuned or anything like that, but I do know that he has the red top ignition coils, which is from the RS3, and he also put the steel oil pan down there, which is pretty dope. So now I don't have to use the brand new steel oil pan that I bought from ECS Tuning onto this new motor. Pretty dang cool. I can just return that, get my money back, or I can keep it for future. I mean, they're not that expensive. So, and the greatest thing is I don't have to take the time to install the new steel oil pan because it's just another thing, right? So that's pretty cool. So that's what this video is about. I thought that was pretty cool. The next thing that we're going to do, obviously, we're going to be installing this transmission onto the new motor. Once that's installed, then it's time for this new motor to go into the engine bay, guys. So everything is looking good. I already have the new engine mount and transmission mounts in place there, as you can see there. These are the CTS ones. So I did inspect my old ones, which are over here, and 178,000 miles later, they actually look pretty good still, but there is some sign of some cracking. I don't know if you could see that right there. Yeah, you can see that. There's some signs of it cracking that you can't really see when they're in the car. but they are cracked a little bit. And let me inspect the other one here, show you this one. And where is it? Yeah, it's just really loose. See how loose that is? See how loose that is? That's not supposed to be loose. Look at this. Yeah, it's really loose. And there are some signs of cracking on this one too, right there. And on this side a little bit too. And then, yeah, a little bit in there. But yeah, I am glad that I got the new engine and transmission mounts from CTS Turbo. And put those in there. So everything is literally ready to go. It's just going to be a matter of putting it in, and once it's lined up, it's going to sit there. We're going to button everything up, put the axles back on, and the downpipe there, and all the hoses and stuff, and all the clips, and the front end, and the intercooler. Honestly, it looks like a lot, but it really isn't that much. I think once we actually put the motor in there, it's just going to be a matter of one day time before we get it going. The last thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to empty all of the fuel out of this fuel tank down there, because this fuel has been sitting in there for over a year, and I don't even know how much fuel is in the gas tank there. So that's going to need to be drained and put new fuel in it, and then just button everything up, put the battery on and start it, and then just test the pressure for the coolant and stuff like that. But yeah, we're almost there, guys. I think the Wave Track LSD definitely took the most time so far. I mean, we got the motor out in just a few hours, to be honest. It was like three and a half, 4 hours. We got it out of the car, and yeah, so it didn't take very long. But this guy has taken us multiple weekends. We've been busy, you know, and we're just kind of taking our time on it and stuff. But yeah, but that's that. So that's a really cool thing. I just wanted to make a video about that steel oil pan. I think it's a worthy upgrade. It's only like, it's less than like $100 on ECS Tuning for the whole kit. That's including the pan, the gasket material, the hardware for the pan, and also the hardware for the oil level sensor. So it really is not that expensive. So definitely a good upgrade for this car. All right, guys, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching again this channel, and I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. If you are interested in subscribing to my channel, go ahead and do that. Please give this video a like and share it with your friends. And until the next video, guys, I will see you later. All right, peace.